Hey, what's up, everybody? We got Friday. It's episode 67. Today, I want to talk real quick about planning ahead because I understand it sounds easier to plan ahead than it actually use. So, how do you plan ahead? Okay, first, you use planning ahead when you think about your strategy. Okay, when you're thinking about what stock you want to invest in. I'll give you an example. When Snap was up 17% pre-market, I shot a video and I said there's better a chance that Snap goes up 25% then it retracts to like 9 or 10%. So if you think that, and that's a strategy right there, that's planning in advance. You're planning for Snap to go up 25% from 17%. You choose your entry point. Now, here's how else you plan ahead. Let's talk about options. Let me get to you guys so I can see you guys. I always do better. Okay, when we talk about options and we talk about planning ahead, I'm not telling you have to buy puts or calls. It doesn't matter. I don't tell you what stocks to pick. I'm telling you to go into a stock, and I'll give you an example of how I planned ahead. So I had these blank options that ended up expiring worthless today, but I did not lose on the order, and I'll quickly explain, okay? So I went into my blank position, which were $32.50 calls. This is planning ahead, by the way, so this is the example, all right? My average was around 84 cents. What happened is they dipped hard this morning, so I sold little after open, and I sold for about 72 cents. So I was down. Point is, I then took my blink. Oh, no, I sold a different position for 72 cents. Sorry, let's just go. Blink options, I lost like 48% on my initial trade, okay? Then the blink options dropped down to some ridiculously low price, and I bought more at, I think it was like 14 cents. And then I sold them for 31 cents. So on my first position, I lost 48%. On my second position, which was the same amount of money, okay, I made over 100%. So I was positive. Then I entered Blink a third time, which I lost about $1,200. So I ended up losing on the day about $180 on Blink. My point is, just because a stock goes down and you see it going down, it doesn't mean you have to ride it down. If you plan ahead, meaning you get out knowing you're planning on getting back in, that is planning ahead. So let's talk about it real quick. Whether you use Webull or Robinhood or whatever it is, whatever the option is, and I know people were looking at the SPY today, right? But they were looking to not spend that much money on the SPY. So they see an option, and let's say it's 38 cents or $38 per option. To plan ahead, you say, okay, it's $38. I think it might double, okay? But I don't want to pay $38. I'd like to pay $32. So you put this in pre-market. Now that's a 20% decline, okay? 6 cents or $6 from 38 is like 19 to 20%. So the point is, right there, you're trying to save 20% on the way in, okay? So that's planning ahead. You just saved 20%. Now you have your option. You bought it for, let's say, 32 cents because it was 38. You paid $32 per contract, all right? Now, as soon as you buy it, you're planning ahead. You say, I'd like to make 100% profit. I will go and I will enter it into Robinhood or Webull or whatever your platform is, and you're going to sell the same contract for double, all right, for 64 cents, which is today. All right, a lot of people made 100% on the SPY, which is my example. I made money. Blink went down, so I sold, took 48% loss, figured out I need to make my 48% back. I was still watching that option because it was so damn cheap, 14 cents, and it was still so early in the day that I said, if there's a reversal, let me get in. So I entered this same amount of money. My first position was 3,400. My second position was like 3,200, all right? When I lost 1,700 on the first position, and then I made 3,000 on the second position, I was up 1,300. Then I entered into a new position, which was worthless, so I ended up losing $180 on the day. But the point is, if I didn't enter into the third position, I could have won against Blink today. I would have came out profitable, but I thought it was going to turn around. So that's on me for getting greedy because, again, my options expired today. All right. So let's talk about planning ahead again. Anybody that thought they were into a position today or looking for certain stocks, whether it's positive with calls or negative with puts, if you're planning ahead, you're thinking to yourself, do I think it's moving today? Do I think it'll move by next week? Am I safer if it moves by August? Now, understand the closer you are to expiration, the more volatile your account's going to be. So if you put $5,000 into an option position that expires today, you're going to see it go to 6, 7, 8,000, and then it's going to shoot down to 3,000. You're going to say it's so volatile because your options expired today. If your options expire next week, less volatility. If your options expire in August, less volatility. All right. So my my lesson to you guys today was planning ahead, because I believe you guys like to watch and look at the stocks rather than planning ahead. So the whole point about planning ahead is you leave emotion at the side. Okay, so let's get back to strategy. Okay, here's another strategy, right? So we know that Snap was up. We know that Twitter reported, and that was up. We know that Pins, right, doesn't report till I believe the 27th. However, it would probably get some of the same action because it's social media, right? Pinterest. So the point is, we had strategy. It was only up 3%. It reduced down to 1% up on the day. I took a position. It ended today, I think, up 5 or 6%. So again, planning ahead, I knew what stock or what position option I was looking at. All right. I got the one that expired next week because I do not want to hold it through earnings. We're the 23rd. Next Friday's the 30th. They're doing earnings on the 27th, I believe. I want to sell before the earnings. I want to have people anticipate the earnings are going to be great. The stock spike up prior to the earnings, so I don't have to put the risk on the table. I can already profit. Again, that is planning ahead, okay? So what I wanted to talk about, trading without emotion. I had people tell me today that they got over levered in the UVXY, and I'll talk about the UVXY in a minute. But the point was, they became overly levered. They significantly hurt their accounts. But instead of planning ahead, which first thing this morning before the market opens, you realize you're overly levered. You realize that if you're wrong about today, you could technically blow up your account. So what do? Before the market opens, you look at whatever your options are. Say you have like 50 contracts and they're 40 cents each, and that's the only amount of money you have in your whole account, $2,000. You're all in on whatever position it is. So you say to yourself, I think I'm going to be right, but I don't want to go all in. Let me sell 40 of them. This is pre-market. You think this out. 40 of them. Let me ask 38 cents. That way it's close enough to where it closed that somebody will execute that. So you're going to lose $80, but you're going to have the safety of only carrying 10 contracts forward. So when you carry those 10 contracts forward and the UVXY spikes, you're not crushing your position. It's safeguarding yourself. So with 2020 hindsight, it makes a lot of sense. But when I tell you guys to plan ahead, that's what I'm talking about. If you're overly anxious about something, and I used it again yesterday on YouTube, and anybody that watches my YouTube, congratulations, because you want to learn, okay? But I mentioned this yesterday on YouTube. I gave a case study about an individual who was worried about the UVXY, and instead of just watching or waiting for the spike and adding to his position of puts, he did it when it didn't spike. He was like, you know what, I think it's going down. I'm going to add. So he overly levered himself. He felt extremely anxious and stressed about it, and he ended up selling when it spiked, which killed his profit. All right, that's why we plan ahead, and that's why we don't overly lever ourselves. If we're happy with our position, we're content. If it goes down and we have time, we know what to do. If it goes up, we know what to do. Now remember, when we enter into a position, we're not thinking about averaging down. When I buy something, my first thought is, what am I going to sell it at? Not, how am I best going to average down? Because why the hell did I buy that shit if I thought I was going to average down? I did make a mistake today. I entered into 2 positions. Oh, that's not the mistake. And I'll update those in a minute. I'll talk about that. But let's talk about my spreadsheet, okay? I went on Twitter yesterday, and I mentioned, be careful. I believe the Dow and the markets will crash, all right? I spoke to a buddy of mine who works out in California, and I'll make this really quick. He works at a testing site. He runs it basically. So they're testing everybody. They used to test 9 people a day at his site. Now they test 90 people a day. 10% come back positive. He only tests people that have the vaccine shot. And they mostly only test Johnson & Johnson, okay? You didn't hear it from me, but that's what it is. So the vaccines really aren't working as strong as they're supposed to, which is why I am fearful that the markets will throw up on themselves. And that is why I did a warning yesterday, and I'm giving you the warning now. So I consolidated a lot of my positions. It doesn't mean I sold as a loss, and that's what I'm going to update you guys right now, okay? I mentioned this last night. It doesn't have to be instantaneously, but profit. I took profit on eBay, okay? Sold eBay at 80, at 72.5. My price target was 77, but I wanted out. I wanted less positions, okay? Less risk, okay? eBay still popped after I sold it a whole nother $1. So again, I'm transparent with you. I don't call shit perfectly, but I know when I'm happy with profit. eBay gave me 24%. I've been in it about 3 weeks since the stock alert, okay? We've also been in options here and there. I sold my options yesterday. They would have been worth a lot more today, okay? Sorrentino Therapeutic, SNRE. I took profit. I'm out. Let's talk about 2 other stocks. On Wednesday, I took profit on NEO. I was originally in at $32. My price target was $55. It hit $55. And guess what? I didn't plan ahead. That was my price target. I didn't sell. I was busy that day. What happened? It lost 10% the next day, lost 10% the next day. I ended up selling at $44. I cost myself 20%. So that's what happens when you don't plan ahead. I'll give you another example from me and from the spreadsheet. all right? I closed it out today at $27. I was originally in at $26. It went as high as $44. My exit strategy was $44.18 on the spreadsheet. I wasn't around. That was the same day NEO spiked, 2 Chinese stocks. I did not sell. It went from $44 back to $27. That's $17. That was all of my profit. I made 5% profit. I made $1. I was up a ridiculous amount. I was up $18 profit, which is about 62%. I made 5%. So I didn't plan ahead. Do you get that? I lost 57% of my profit, almost my entire profit, by not planning ahead on EH. Okay, so it makes me crazy. Then on public Twitter, if you guys follow me on my public Twitter, Alex, one of our members, made a video message, which I retweeted. He mentioned he blew up his account twice. He took $2,000 and he turned it into $30,000. And he said the rules work, and I was there, and I got cocky and overconfident, right? Which is inevitable. It's just one time that can screw up your account. You get overconfident. You know what you're doing, but you do the wrong thing. You overly leverage yourself. Or the market's going down, and you're on such fire that you say, I'm going to be right anyway because I'm always right. And then what happens is you blow up your account and you start over. So the point of his message was, please secure profit. Instead of 60%, go for 20%. Step and repeat. He was telling us he did that, and his account's going to be up to 30,000 again, and I have no doubt he will because he understands it. You have to blow up your account to understand the severity of it. So it sounds terrible, and some people that think they just did it for the first time and it's only happened to them, welcome to the club. I blew up my options account 3 times last year. Now, each time I start with 2,000 and I worked it into like 60 or 70,000. I did it on Netflix Q2, AMD Q3 earnings. So each time I held through earnings, which is why I stressed to you guys, like I said before with Pinterest, there's no way I would hold through earnings. All right, you saw what happened to STX, one of my favorite stocks. Through earnings, it was $88, $89. It got hit through earnings. They had good earnings, and it went down to $79.80. At which time a lot of my platform members entered into it and returned 100% yesterday. And those that stuck with it returned another 75% today. I only know because you guys are DMing me again. All right. So why did I sell my positions? Let's get right to it. All right. You guys saw it today. I saw it today. Market manipulation. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean, the markets were green. So let's talk about Monday was shit, the worst day of the year. We had Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. 4 green days for the Dow. 4 green days for NASDAQ, and yet the UVXY didn't go down today. But the VIX, all right, the VIX, which gauges volatility, went down today. The VIX in 5 days has been down 18%. Now, they say a good measurement of the UVXY is you take the VIX and multiply it by 1.5 times. So you say to yourself, if the VIX went down 18% in the last 5 days, UVXY should have been down about 29 or 30%. It wasn't. It was down about 22%, and that's why I say to you guys, they owe us about $2. It should have been 8% lower, and I believe it was manipulation. Markets were strong. The leading stocks were strong in each tech field and in the Dow field. All right, so let's talk about some strong areas, okay? Strong areas, which we spoke about this morning, yesterday, going into earnings also. Early in the week, I've been mentioning Snap and Pins, okay? Pins, again, doesn't have earnings next week. But Snap, Pins, Twitter, all right. Other stocks that were beaten up, STX, what I mentioned. eBay looks strong. Even though I sold it, I still have a price target on 77. I just needed to lock up profits. And then this stock I've been talking about for YouTube for 3 straight days. So this is why I don't give a shit anymore, because I talk about stuff on YouTube. This stuff happens, and then I get 500 views, 1,000 views, whatever it is. And I appreciate you guys that are watching. And I know you want to learn. So please don't take this the wrong way. I'm talking about the people that might see this video that haven't watched the last 5 or who've seen the last 2 and haven't seen the 10 before that. Okay? I've been talking for 3 days about Moderna. They got included to the New York Stock Exchange. They're going to be on a lot of mutual funds, Radar and other funds, institutions, and the such. All right. It was at $308. It was even probably cheaper than that, but I got in at $308. I wrote it up to $318. All right. Then I got back in at 317 and I wrote it to 326, at which time I alerted, hey, this is pretty damn good, Moderna. You guys should look at this. I wouldn't pay 326, wait for it to retract. So what did it do yesterday? It retracted back to 318 again. Those who jumped on board, congratulations. Why? Because I'm pretty sure I didn't see where it ended today, and I'm still holding my options because my price target on Moderna is 380. All right. But I'm pretty sure it went to 342, maybe even 345. No, I think it might even went higher. Let's not even worry about it. The point is, I spoke about this stock, and I speak about multiple stocks, but I focused on this one, and I mentioned it 3 days ago, and I mentioned it 2 days ago, and I mentioned it yesterday. So if you got in at 308 and it's 348, you're probably looking at somewhere close to 280 or 300%. Okay. And yes, I was talking about the UVXY, and I believe it was manipulation. That was my other main play this week. Okay. What else do we have going on? Tesla is going to report, and it could be scary. All right. They're going to project that they lose $100 to $125 million just due to cryptocurrency and their Bitcoin investing. Okay. They have other stuff to worry about, like credits and issues with sales in China. Elon's magical, so I'm going to see what he pulls out of his hat this time. It's going to be pretty hard for me to believe that he's actually going to come out with something good. All right. With that said, before I even got here, there were 3 people. 2 of them gave thumbs up. 1 of them gave a thumbs down. I'd like to thank all 3 of you, because all 3 of you making thumbs up or down adds to the analytics and adds to the fact that YouTube wants to show my video to somebody else. So thank you. Now, to that person who gives a thumbs down, what the hell are you doing showing up 5 minutes early so you can dislike my video before I even started? How do you know what content I'm going to say today? Maybe I was going to say, I know a way to see who gives me a thumbs up, and everybody that gives me a thumbs up, I'm going to send them $100. And you sent me a thumbs down. All right, I'm just kidding with you. Anyway, let's get to some slides, and then I can answer some questions. I know it's Friday. Everybody wants to wrap it up. All right, so I tell you guys, always make predictions. So yesterday, 40 minutes to close, I was saying if Tesla goes the wrong way, it'll end at 649.36. Let's see where it ended. 649.36. Next slide. And 649.26. Okay, so I literally missed by, I think, 11 cents, okay? I'm not showing off. I'm showing you guys how to make predictions. You look at a stock and you say, if the market's good for the rest of today, here's what's going to happen to my stock. If the market's bad, here's what's going to happen to my stock. And because Tesla went down at the close yesterday, I believed Tesla was going to go down today. Now, I haven't looked at Tesla yet, and I know some stocks were extremely strong, so it wouldn't surprise me either way. But let's take a quick look at Tesla, and down Okay, it only dropped $6. It was down to 637, which is maybe 2%, and it was as high as up 1%. So yeah, I would have thought that it was going down, so it did finish down 1%. Anyway, always make predictions. Let's get another slide up there, Carlos, please. All right. Oh, here we go. Yeah, so Moderna, I mentioned it 3 straight times. I just spoke about this. In at 308, in at 318. Whisper on the street is it could run to 380, which is what I tell you guys. So anyway, I'm holding my options. I'm making money there. And let's see what goes on next. I don't make everybody, or I don't suggest everybody play the same stocks as me, but I try and be as transparent as possible. So even with Blink this, oh, you know what, I'll talk about that later because that's a slide, I think. All right, let's go to another slide, please. All right, Snap, pre-market, here we go. I mentioned this already, up 17%. I said more likely it would go up 25% than 9. So anybody that got in Snap, and I know one of you did because he showed me he made 67% on his trade today. Guess what? I told him I made 72%, which means I got in better than you. Not by a lot, by a little. All right, let's get another slide in there. Point is, do you have strategy? All right, so here was the trick or the lesson that I showed my members, and this is the secret I was going to show the other day that I never did, all right? Here's what you do. You take the pro shares percentage and of both SDAO and the SQQQ, you add them together. So together you're like, all right, it should be almost 4.50. And then usually you're supposed to double that to get the UVXY because that's what I do. And it works out 98% of the time. So when I looked at this and I said to myself, the UVXY should be down about 8 or 9%. So that's why I'm so confused and I'm baffled by this situation. And I'm sorry for the people that ended up losing money again. I know a lot of us exited out while it was going up yesterday. I know some people, the ones that didn't plan, and I'm not making fun of you, got stuck. And the ones that were overly heavily levered just got manipulated today. Every time it was just kept in a certain range. Anytime it went down to 28.10 and it was dropping, they spiked it back to 28.50, and then they would let it run another 20 cents, okay? All right, let's get another slide up there. But it wasn't moving with the VIX. The VIX was dropping. All right, this is my warning. Yesterday, I made a video about this, and I was just telling everybody, and I guess I'll share it now. My buddy works at an institution on the West Coast in California. He tracks people that are vaccinated. It seems that the vaccine is not working like it should. All right, let's go to another slide. And then right after I tweet that, at 8:03, about 30 minutes later, one of the leading doctors, Dr. Ashnish Jha, he said the Delta variant is spreading and we're all going to see it. And the cases go up every day. We're at 54,000, then 57, then 59, 60, 63 this morning. What's going to happen is soon, I mean, the way math is, and you know I like math, and I hate to put fear into people, but if it's math and it's the way it's continuing like it is, it's going to be over 100,000 within 3 or 4 weeks, meaning the daily number of new infections will be at 100,000 3 or 4 weeks from now. So what do you guys think is going to happen to Carnival, Delta, Dow stocks? I know people like AMC. So when I talk to those AMC apes, I tell you guys, take profit, make profit. It's okay to sit out, wait for it to go down, and buy more. I don't know where AMC went today, but I got to assume it went down. I got to check. I would say it went down maybe like 4%. That would be something fair. AMC. Probably down. It was nope, almost basically even, but it was down to $34.69, which is $2.50, which was 8% at some point. So the point is, if you know AMC is going down 8%, you sell it when it's down 6 or 8%. You buy the same thing back, and you have 8% more. If you had 100 shares, you have 108. If you had 1,000 shares, you have 1,080 shares. You're still supporting the cause. All right, next slide. Sorry to get distracted. All right, panic almost set in. Took a breather. Don't let emotions get in the way. That's perfect. I'm assuming you almost sold your Peloton position and you probably were giving back all your profit. I'm assuming that you were probably up like 70%. It retraced to maybe 30 and you're like, oh, I'm going to scare sell. At least I got 30%. And then you're like, no, zoom out, because I tell you guys, zoom out. So his profit, I don't know when he sold, but it looked to be about 260%. All right, let's get another one. It's a good job, man. I tell you guys, zoom out. All right. Facebook was flying. We own stock. It's on the spreadsheet. It is still there because my price target on Facebook is $400, right? Roku, flying. I only have one option, but I'm crushing it with my one option. I don't know why Roku's just off the chart. My option expires August. I dipped my foot in. Here's the problem. I dipped my foot in. I only bought one option. It was pretty damn expensive. I paid $1,200. It's worth north of $2,500 right now. But the point is, I was looking to buy more. I wanted to buy 8 or 10 options. I wanted to be in for about $9,600. I did not have the chance. It's okay. I'm profitable, and I'm damn happy about it. And that's what I'm telling you guys. When you test out the waters, you don't need to buy 10, 12 options at once. You buy one. Hold it for a day. Hold it for 2 days. See how the market is. If you're wrong and you lose 50%, yes, if you call the bottom, you can average down. My option expires in August. So I had intentions to average down. That was the plan. The fact that it took off, I'm enjoying it. All right, let's get another slide up there, please. All right. Oh, God, Chinese stocks. So if you didn't hear, besides for China cracking down on DD and all these other stocks, and they're saying that they don't think any IPOs are going to go to market anymore, they don't want any outside foreign investment in their companies. Well, how can they say that? I mean, here's the catch why we need China. They have 20% of the world's population is in China. So all these multinational companies that are situated here in the U.S., we need China. So with these two companies, EDU and TAL, they're educational services. China is basically saying, we want to offer those services for free. We'd like them to be like nonprofit. We want to support families during this COVID outbreak, and kids need extra care after school. So these two stocks are so screwed. I mean, I bet you, I didn't look at the charts, but I bet you the charts just went down lower and lower. Let's look at it. You know why we can look at it? Because if you don't want to stay here, you'll just zone me out right now and sign off. And if you want to stay here, you're interested in what I have to say. So yeah, I'm giving you a guess. I'm guessing that they just went slowly down. All right, EDU off 54%. Oh, I have a good news about Chinese stocks, though. So here's the interesting thing. As soon as I look at TAL, because let's see what this drops, 60%, 70%, and it looks, oh my God. Okay, catch my breath there. Let's get the next slide on there, and then I'll tell you what's happening with Chinese stocks real quick. Now, we all know that we don't really like China, okay? I got rid of my NEO. DD, one of my platform members, I think he returned 1,100% on DD today. 1,100%. He took a flyer. It paid off. DD dropped. China said they were going to do major sanctions against them. I think it dropped 20% this morning. All right. Let's get another slide up there. I'll tell you what's going on. Oh, yeah, here it is. DD, he was trying to get out. He was asking 1,100%. He mentioned about 30 minutes later, it got hit. All right. So again, it's all about having strategy. This gentleman took a shot. He spent $10 or $15. I don't know how many contracts he bought. Let's say he bought 5. He spent $50 to $65. That was his investment. All right. He bought the contract yesterday before close, thinking, what happens if DD falls off the face? I'm getting these things so damn cheap. Okay. The point is he has strategy and he knew what his target was. When it opened at 850 this morning, he said he's going to make at least 1,000%. So he planned ahead. He didn't sell instantaneously. I bet he could have got 800% at open. And me and you and everybody else would have been like 800%. I'll take it. But he got 300 more percent. He got 1,100%. So having strategy, planning ahead, there are examples in everything that I talk about is planning ahead. All right, let's get another slide up there. All right, using rules. All right, so yeah, he calls it his cheat code, okay? So what did he do? He returned 225% on the SPY. So I spoke about how the markets were going to be strong. This is a position he entered into on market open. If I tell you markets are going to be green, we thought the UVX, my bet was on the UVXY going down. I had $29.50 puts. I held them way too long. I should have sold them at market open, but I thought it was going down to 26. And I told you why. Okay, so this person, instead of doing that, he went in the SPY. Other people went in the TQQQ. He returned 200 and change percent. Crazy return. So here's the new strategy. When you go out of the money or you buy a cheap option, and I'll explain how I did this later, actually. Go ahead. I'm going to tell you my new strategy as soon as we're done with the slides. Let's get another one, Carlos. All right. Oh, so this is Blink. I already explained it. I went in at $1.80. I bought more at 70 cents. It went to 65 cents. This is yesterday, okay? So I was in at $1.04. I sold this morning at 72 cents when it was going down. Yeah, I did sell 72 cents. I lost 48%. When it dropped to rock bottom, I have no position. I took the same amount of money, $3,200. I bought Blink options, and it spiked from $14 a contract to $34 a contract. I sold it $30 a contract, over 100%. So you can get beat up by a stock like Blink and still make money. That's the great thing, as long as you have strategy. So when I tell you guys have strategy, let's get rid of this. I think, Carlos, that's it. Oh, I have one more. Yeah, let's skip this one. It was just some dude thanking me, telling me he was basically going to lose his account. He found me on Webbull or Webull, and there are message boards there, and people are like talking about different stocks, and they would say, hey, this stock's going to get short squeezed, and this dude was getting beat up, and he came on YouTube, and he asked me about the stock, and I said, let me look at it. Oh, my God, it looks like shit. Run for the hills. He only had $1,000 in his account, and he told me I saved him $600 that he would have lost. Okay, so imagine that. You have a small account, $1,000. You lose $600 because you're listening to what people say on different comment boards. All right, some people are smart. Some people are just ridiculous. Some people tell you to buy the S, okay? I do none of these. I don't tell you what you have to invest in. What do I tell you? I tell you I want you to be the most efficient trader. I tell you I'm going to give you tips, secrets. Watch my YouTube videos. I do this every day. I share lessons. If you're not part of my platform, this is what you get. If you're part of my platform, you get this and a bag of nuts because I give you lessons throughout the day and I share things. And when things dip hard, I say, great time for entry. And what do I teach you? Secure profit. We can talk about Oracle real quick. Remember Oracle yesterday, how it dipped hard and I bought options and then it spiked. This morning, it was $91.10. I entered into it $1 less. So I got out. I secured profit. That was it. I had no clue Oracle was going to fall hard today. The same way I had no clue that STX was going to bounce hard yesterday because, as I mentioned, I sold my stock when they went down. So I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. I give a best guess estimate. And what do I do for my platform? I teach you rules and lessons. so that you can find your own stocks, so that you know how to pick entry, you know how to plan ahead, and you know how to secure profit. That's what this is about. There are 30 million new traders out there. All right. There are 100 people watching me now. So I ask you 100, show this to 5 people. Tell them you want to help them. All right. Pay it forward. All right. If you're here, please give a thumbs up. I'm going to mention this real quick again. 3 people signed on pre-video. 2 gave me thumbs up. 1 gave me thumbs down before the video even started. How the hell does that person know that this video is not going to be off the chain? All right. Let's get some questions up there so we can move on. All right, what do we got? All right, what are my thoughts surrounding my warning 2 to 4 weeks out? Okay, yes. So we're totally going to flip the switch. So I'm going to go probably from extremely bullish. Once the COVID numbers start spiking, even if the market doesn't react, understand we closed at all-time highs probably, right? Because we're 4 days up. Let me just see where the market's closed at. I mean, it's got to be all-time highs. NASDAQ, here we go. 152,238. Wow. I mean, those are pretty substantial numbers. So we did close at all-time highs or pretty damn close near it. If COVID numbers spike, all right, I'm watching the daily count. If we get up over the weekend to 70, I know it's coming. My buddy warns me. He's a very smart individual. He's nothing to do with the stock market. So please understand, he's not in like any type of investment situation. He called me up because he said, I know COVID is going to spike. I know it's going to be ridiculous. People are getting sick. How do I make money, Matt? And I said, dude, good thing we're best friends, because this is something I always say for like my lifetime members, how we're going to profit off COVID. But don't worry, when things flip, okay, there are certain stocks we're going to stay away from. When COVID comes out and it's spiking, I'm going to invest in Zoom. So I'll still be bullish on some stocks. I'll be bullish when the government starts giving out more money. I'll be bullish on crypto stocks, because that'll make crypto worth more money, because our government will just start handing that shit out. All right, I don't mind. People need it, okay? But I'm not going to be playing, when a cruise ship basically goes out and now they say they have COVID on the cruise ship, it's not going to surprise me. It would have originally surprised me if Carnival lost like another 40%, let's say, and went back to 15. I said that was no way possible. However, and I'm not giving that example, I'm saying worst case scenario, because I don't want people turning around, yeah, you sold your Carnival, now you're talking shit on it. You sound like Jim Cramer. No. What I'm saying, if the cases get to 99,000 a day, there are going to be less people flying. There are going to be less people using Airbnb. There are going to be less people staying at hotels. There are going to be less people doing a lot of recreational things. All right? My buddy was in Martha's Vineyard. He went from the West Coast to Martha's Vineyard, and he said he went to Eggertown. Martha's Vineyard is a very richy place. So he went to Eggertown, went to a nice restaurant, 200 people inside, 0 masks. I get it. They're eating dinner, nice restaurant, upscale, ritzy, Martha's Vineyard. It's Nantucket, Martha. It's very nice. Of course, I wouldn't want to eat, my lobster with a mask on either way. But the point is, how many people eating dinner out of that 200 had the Delta variant, didn't know about it? Let's assume it was 2. And on average, those 2 people are going to spread to 8 to 9 people. So now you're at 18 people. And those people don't know about it. And if they spread to 8 to 9 people, that's why it's mass going to multiply. It's not like original COVID. Original COVID, if I had it and I didn't know, I generally would infect 2 to 3 people. That's what they said on average. If you had COVID, you infected 2 to 3 people. This Delta variant, if you have it, you're infecting 8 to 9 people on average. Do the math exponentially. I want to grow my platform like the Delta variant. I do not want to grow my platform like regular COVID. I want my shit to sprout. Okay, so that's why I'm saying be careful. 2 to 4 weeks out, I'm going to let my platform members know about it. We will have certain plays. There'll be things that we stay away from. So why do you think Snapchat's so good? Twitter's so good? Pinterest is so good? Because if there is another outbreak, you know what spikes? All those stocks. Zoom, boom, cloud stocks. Why do you think I've been talking about DDOG, NET, NET, Square? Remember, I alerted Square, 231. It's now 260 something. DDOG, we bought back in at 104. It's like 113. NET, right? 101.80. It even came lower after I bought it. It went down to like 100 point something. And this is this week. This is like Monday. And it's up to like 114, 115, 15%. Cloud people, right? Okay, let's get another question out. Yes, we will have stocks to play. How did you do on Roku? I don't have enough funds to grab when you tweeted. Oh, yeah. I'm still holding on. Roku's awesome. But again, I only bought 1 contract. So the thing is, I wish I wanted to have 8 contracts. I wanted to be in for 9,600. I spent 1,200. I was dipping my foot in because if I spend 1,200 and it goes down to 1,000, then I just save $200 per contract times 8 more contracts. I'll save $1,600, which if I'm putting in 9,600, 16 out of 96 is like 19%, 20%. So if I tell you, hey, this is going to cost you $100, but if you wait, you only have to pay 80. The chances are you're going to wait. So I waited on Roku. I only bought 1 contract. Yes, it's killing it. It's absolutely, I mean, my price target on Roku. Oh, remember my price target? I bet that dude, I said Netflix versus Roku. I bet Roku hits 500 before Netflix hits 600. Then Netflix came out with earning and it's down. Somebody took my bet. You're on my platform. Tell me who it is. I forgot about it, but we definitely have it on. Next question, comment, please. Roku's awesome. All right, yes. You have 18 Carnival crawls expired. Yes. So I had ones too. I had calls that were leap year calls, and I had October calls that I sold today. I sold this morning. Originally, the ones on the spreadsheet, I only sold half of my position, and then as the day went on and Carnival went to $22, I sold the rest of the position. I don't like it. It has so much downside. Originally, I thought nothing's going to stop Carnival. There was no Delta variant. So I said, by Carnival's going to come out October. It'll be $50. This is a killer. And worst case, it's $32 or $35. We still kill it. Now I'm actually afraid that if these numbers spike, not that all these 100,000 cases a day are going on a cruise. They're not. But if we're having these spikes, the cruise ships are going to be limited. Then once they have an outbreak, they're going to have to cancel it, refund money. All right, so here's what I would do. And I'm sorry we didn't talk about this yesterday. Maybe if you're here. I think cruise ships could be okay, but it's downside. If this gets hit and goes to $15 in September, you're never going to make your money back. So your 18 calls, which are, let's say they're 20, you have $4,000 basically. They're going to be worthless. All right, now you have, now you have $3,000. So you're down 1,000. I get it, you're down 25%. This is one of the lessons. You're in shit right now. You weren't in shit. You were just standing watching, and it looked good, right? It looked good for me, too. I doubled my position when Carnival was $24. Now I sold it when it was $23 and $22. That's not investing. You don't buy high. But what you don't do is you don't stand in shit. If you see Carnival going from 24 to 20 and the next stop is 19, 18, you don't want to ride it down to 15 going, okay, finally, I got that bounce I was looking for. Because the bounce at 15 will be 15 to 17, and right now we're at $22. So don't ride that down, please. I'd rather you secure profit. I know I used to say that I really like leap year options, and I do for certain stocks. NNOX, Apple, right? Stocks that I already have. There were leap year options that I got rid of. I'm in leap year coin, but I got rid of my leap year Delta. I got rid of my leap year Dow stocks today in the morning. All right. That's just how it's about safety. It's not like I think Carnival's going to 14. I'd love to see Carnival at 30 and everybody kill it. And the buying is there. This could be consolidation, but my worry is the Delta variant. Okay. You tell me the Delta variant doesn't matter. I tell you, I'm so bullish on Carnival. That's it. And same with airlines. Tell me Delta variant does not matter and it doesn't replicate like it's been doing. Now understand this with cases like COVID and things of that nature. They replicate and they morph, which is why we have the Delta variant. We had a Brazilian variant. We had an Indian variant. It's going to keep morphing. It's not going away, unfortunately. And this is what I explained to some people today. I don't think this is going away. We're going to need booster shots. I think it's bullshit, man. I mean, China did it again. Next comment, man. So, yeah, I'll never be in Chinese stocks again. All right, yeah, this one. Hey, Matt, I got the $25 puts for next week at 12 cents. Why didn't you pay 11 cents? I think it's $1 more. Yes. Exactly. Why'd you pay that? I mean, you got in at the end of the day. Someone's scared sold to me. How do you feel about UVX? Okay, so here's the point, and this is an alert today. This is the only alert today that is on the spreadsheet and open right now, okay? The alert today is on. It's the UVXY. It's a $25 put. Dude, do you know UVXY is like 20? I know where it is. Here's what we're looking for with this. I don't give a shit what the UVXY does next week. I'm thinking on Monday or Tuesday. Say it's flat on Monday. Who gives a shit? On Tuesday, it falls 9%. I don't care what happens the rest of the week. Let's say on Monday, it drops 8%. I don't care what happens the rest of the week. Why? Because when it drops 8% and drops $2 or $1.50 or even $1, our 12-cent options are going to be, or your 12-cent options, my 11-cent options are going to be worth $22. Your 12-cent options are going to be worth 22. That's what someone's going to pay for it. It's going to be dropping. The bid's going to be 18. The ask, which will be mine and yours, will be 22. It'll look like it's dropping, and somebody will say, instead of 18, I'm having FOMO, and they'll pay our 22. It's only really worth 18. But the point is, we're going to get that 100%. So I don't know what the UVXY is doing next week, but I'm telling you, this trade for the spreadsheet, 100%. So let's get to it real quick. From now on, I limited my positions. I want every freaking one of my trades to be green. Oh, so I updated my spreadsheet. So I'm trading options. I was 82%. I'm trading options at 73% after I close out positions. So 3 out of every 4 options trades that I give, and if I have to average on whatever, they are profitable. All right. Stocks, I'm trading at 78%. So I'm doing better with stocks. The spreadsheet is up. The closed positions are there. I separated them. I add columns. I added some dates. I added the number of shares. I'm trying to give you guys as much detail as possible. All right. So how do I feel about UVXY next week? I don't know. Mr. Matt, how do you feel about puts on recovery stocks? Okay, well, that's a great idea, but you don't want to get into soon. All right, say you're like, oh, Matt's talking about the virus spiking, and you and I figure it out, and we get puts on some airline stocks, something like that, and the TSA reports good numbers next week, and the airline stocks spike 20%. It's a possibility. So timing is of the utmost important. You'll hear about it. They will start talking about it. Futures will go from plus 50 points to minus 150 points, minus 150. And this time, the next time it's going to happen, I don't think it's going to stop and bounce. I think it's going to keep dropping. So the same way we saw Monday start off, we'll see it again when it happens. And I don't think it'll happen on Monday, but we'll see it. And the next time, instead of saying I'm doing puts on the UVXY, I will hop into calls on the UVXY. All right, so it might be a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks from now. We're going to see the market start to give up one day, and I'm going to go, this is it. This is the day. And I'm going to go on to calls on the UVXY, and I'm going to hope it damn near spikes to 40, like they always talk about. Geez, I hope this spikes. I did that once. I made 1,500%. I really didn't even know what the UVXY was a long, long time ago. I didn't really know what it was. I was in it. I knew if the markets threw up on itself, I'd make a lot of money. I was in it week after week. Zero, zero, zero. I was dropping $5,000, $5,000, $5,000. Then all of a sudden, the 5th week, I dropped $5,000, and I got like a ridiculous return. I returned like $67,000 or something. I mean, it was a long time ago. I was younger. It was a lot of money. All right, next question, please. Hey, Matt, new trader. Hey, Elijah. Hey, how do I find good stocks to go into? I love your rules and lessons I've found to be great, but I don't know how to find good positions. All right, so I guess we're going to go back to this lesson where we go back to it, and I look at the 1-month chart. The 1-month chart for any stock will tell you inflow versus outflow. Now, obviously, inflow means there's more demand for the stock. It's like supply and demand. If there are only 12 eggs in the supermarket and 8 people want eggs, well, then the egg price will go up. Supply and demand. So we're looking for stocks that have inflow, which is green, outflow being red. Then you look at the 1-month chart. So we can look at, let me just find a stock. Let's look at, I don't even know. Let's look at Caterpillar because I like Caterpillar. I haven't looked at it in a while, but the 5-day chart looks great. Okay, so let's look at the 1-month Caterpillar. If you open up Webull or whatever platform you're on, I use the line chart. I don't like candlesticks. It looks like artwork to me. I haven't mentioned that in a new while. Okay, so you're looking at it, Caterpillar, 1-month chart, okay? You see heavy selling around June 25th. Then everything's light volume until about 4 or 5 days ago, July 17th. It looks like it bottomed when they came out with something, whatever D is. I don't know what that is. They have earnings come out in 2 weeks. But last 5 out of 7 days has been inflow. Volume is light. So I tell you guys every day, I still expect Caterpillar to spike. It's going to be past earnings. I checked out earnings. You remember when we got into it? I said I wanted to include Caterpillar in the earnings because I think it's going to pop. So, yeah, I'm still looking at Caterpillar very strong. But you have to look at the 1-month chart. That's going to tell you inflow versus outflow and demand. If you see volume small and then all of a sudden you see volume big on inflow days, that tells you people want your stock. That tells you it'll eventually spike again. All right, let's get another one. Hey, Matt, I know you don't hold or like earnings, but you ever predict them ups and downs pre-earnings? Okay, so here's why I don't like earnings, okay? Yeah, so things tend to spike going into earnings. Then you get a lot of IV for your so if you had if you have certain options that you could sell, you want to sell them right before earnings. Like if you took STX right before earnings, you would have got that spike and got out. Then when earnings happened, it dropped and you could have got back in. So I do that for most of my stocks just because I got hurt. And I'll give you the example for AMD. AMD Q3 last year, I had turned a little bit of money, like $3,000 into like $65,000, $75,000. I had another good trade, and I think I was north of like $200,000. I put it all into AMD options, and I made like 30%, and it was going from Monday night into Tuesday. Now, they weren't supposed to come out with earnings until Tuesday after the bell. So I had planned to sell 3/4 of my position Tuesday during the day. I was going to take profit. I was going to take $200,000 off the board. And if I was correct about earnings, I'd make another $70,000. Instead, what happened Tuesday morning, the lady, the AMD CEO, nice woman, she came on and she made an announcement at 6:30. Hey, we're doing earnings early instead of after hours. We're doing them pre-market because we have an announcement. So the good news is we were forecast at 31 cents and we beat. We came in at 41 cents and the stock went up. And I said, I knew they were coming in at 41 cents. Yes, they beat by 20%. It's going to crush it. And then she said, and the announcement is we are the number 2 company in the industry, with NVIDIA being number 1, Xilinx being number 3. So what did they do? AMD bought Xilinx for $35 billion. AMD only had a valuation of $108 billion themselves. So they have $108 billion for their entire valuation, and they're buying a $35 billion company. So what happened to AMD stock? It went from 88 to 93. Then when she announced it, and I was looking for 94 or 95 as my exit strategy, it went from 93 to 77 pre-market. And when it opened, it dropped to 74, making my $84 and $85 options obsolete. $240-something thousand obsolete. Because they were supposed to have earnings after the bell. I had strategy. The strategy was to sell during the day. I was going to sell 3/4 of my position. How pissed was I? I was so angry. And you know what? Jim Cramer had her on. And ever since then, he's just such a cocksucker. I blame him. I blame her. All right, next one. I don't like predicting things before earning because it usually goes the opposite way. They'll come out with great earnings for whatever stock, and Wall Street will tank the stock. And you're like, what? That seems ridiculous. Then a company will come out with shit earnings. They'll be like, yeah, we lost $500 million. And you're like, ha ha. And the stock goes through the roof. And you're like, that's good. That's what people are buying. The company just lost $500 million. And that's what they're buying. So again, I will calm down. It just upsets me. There's such manipulation in the market. So the reason for my platform, I know I'm getting sidetracked. Sorry, Brandon. I'll be right with you. The reason for my platform is because there's market manipulation. I'm here to show you the manipulation. I'm here to inform you so you don't get carried away and blow up your account. I'm here to inform you, small account, large account, I don't give a shit. I want to teach you to secure profit. So if you go into whatever it is, let's use eBay because we keep making money on eBay options every day. You buy into the option, buy it for $2. You want to make 40%, you put your sale in, planning in advance, for $2.80. Do you care where your option goes to? No, you just want to make 40% on your $200, $2,000, or $20,000 investment. I don't care. It's all about the percentage gain. All right, Matt, what are my thoughts on Dogecoin? You're in at 28 for a $1 stack. Dude, then you're suffering. I do like Dogecoin, but I mean, it's at 18 cents. It was at 21 cents. Then it went down to 17 cents. It's steady. So it's 18, 19, 18, 20. It's not going far. The point is, with your $1,000, or you probably not have 1,000 anymore, you probably have 600 left. I would sell it after your one-time fee there. You get $585, and I'd invest it in the stock market. I would keep it on the side, and when you find the dip that we're looking for, whatever it is, when Moderna dipped to 318, when Snap dipped the other day, when Pins dipped, and I announced it and I got in. Okay, there are all these times we're looking for the sale. Once you see the sale, you enter into it and know your strategy, your exit point. Yeah, so I mean, I like crypto. I love crypto actually right now. I think crypto is so weak right now that I expect it to pop. But even if you pop, you're going to maybe, there's so many people holding Dogecoin that I don't think it moves that significantly that fast. I could see Bitcoin popping one of these weekends like a lot and everything else popping half as much. All right, let's get another question comment, please. Okay, American Airlines. Yeah, no doubt it was manipulated. I think institutions thought we were only bullish, but we're buying puts too. Institutions got screwed twice. Let's look at American Airlines. See, I love that. I love that. And yes, I happen to know the younger traders and the retail traders, their favorite airline is American Airline, okay? The institutions, their favorites are Love, LUV, which is Southwest because they're run extremely efficiently, and Alaskan Air because they're run efficiently, and they're also to the north. UAL has a lot of international travel. So let's see what happens to I'm so excited. Let's see, American Airlines. Okay, so it finished. It had outflow today. It consolidated. I mean, yes, this airline stock, this chart looks like spot on. But what makes me nervous is it looks like it could run like 30% to like 26 or 27. Okay. Unfortunately, when they announce COVID numbers or something like that, if it scares the airlines, this will go down to like 17 or $18. So a whole 20%. So you have 30% upside, 20% downside. It just scares me. All right. And I feel like sometimes, I mean, I know you guys do too also. Like my luck would be like, I would buy options in airlines, and that's the day they would announce, oh my God, COVID's overtaking everything, because that's how it feels. All right, next question, comment, please. All right, I do know one thing. If COVID does spike, Matt should get 5 million followers for Vegas. Yeah, listen, a lot of people are probably going to warn it. I didn't actually see all these doctors coming out until after I tweeted. Not that they follow my tweets, because that would be ridiculous. I would never think something like that. But the funny thing was, after that, I read an 803 article. I read a 915 article. It just happens that I spoke to my friend around 6:30, and we spoke for an hour. All right, next question, comment, please. But we do want to be set up. And remember, light volume. So the whole thing this summer is there's going to be light volume. So on sick days in the market, it's going to be bad. On good days in the market, it can be really nice. Please, right here, give a like, all right? If you're here and you're watching this and you like this shit and you're not part of my platform or you're not part of my YouTube, subscribe, hit the like button. You think I'm an idiot? Hit the don't like button. I know there were 6 of you. I think you guys all hang out together. All right, 349 family. Oh, yeah, so here's the thing. We have lifetime members. I stopped doing it about a month ago. We have 81 members. We have a side special chat for them so they can talk amongst themselves. Then we have a platform that has 900 plus other members in it, okay? We do everything organically. But these 900 members said, hey, that's not fair. We should be able to talk to each other and comment and help each other as well. And they're 100% right. So Carlos went and he created something under 349 Fam Chat where everybody has the ability to make a posting. Hey, what do you guys think about Delta stock? I was thinking about whatever it is. We have very smart people that post. Now, I'm not saying you listen to them without thinking, but they bring up good ideas and good suggestions. So comment, make a post yourself. I have something called Matt's Corner. So instead of private Twitter, we're going to try and make it a parallel going forward and switch everybody over. Okay, that's where alerts will be. That's where my videos will be. I've got Matt's Corner. So when I'm educating you and giving you lessons, it's all chronologically. If I don't tweet out, if I give 5 messages, boom, you're all set up. You're at work, you go on, hey, what did Matt's Corner say? Okay, he said this. Let me see where the stock is. Okay, he gave out this option play. It's down 20%. It must be a 10-minute rule. I'll put in a bid for 10% lower. So right there, I'll secure a 30% discount on entry. All right, whatever strategy you use, I don't mind when people use me as a guinea pig or I take a bullet for the team because I understand how to average down. I understand how to secure profit. So if I see something happening, I will secure profit knowing I'm going to enter back in when it dips and save myself 18%. So if I lose 5 or 10% on the way in to try and help you guys out, I make it up for it. Trust me. I'm not worried about that, okay? So great going, Carlos. Thank you so much. It is quitting time. So lifetime members, if you want to be a lifetime member, I haven't mentioned this, and we're not releasing it, right? We only have a wait list now. We're probably going to add like 20 lifetime members. We're thinking about that. Right now, I think we have a wait list of maybe 14 or 15. So there's probably only like 4 or 5, maybe 6 spots open. You have to email support@349 Trading. Say, hey, Carlos, I want a spot. When we do open it up, you'll get the spot if you're in line. If not, you'll be on the new wait list. With that said, I do hope everybody has a good weekend. I hope I came across the way I want to. I care about all of you, and I appreciate you guys standing with me. So when people were struggling today, again, I know 50% of my members did extremely well because they understand the planning. I know 50% of my members were looking for the UVXY to go down, and they were more watching rather than planning and knowing that they're overweighted. So I have felt bad, have felt good like a proud father. The point is, the reason I came on tonight is I want you guys to plan ahead. Those who struggled, write down in your notes what your flaws were. I paid too much. I asked too much. I didn't plan ahead, and I watched it go down. I averaged down incorrectly. I was more risky because I chose today's options rather than going out a week or two. Whatever your mistakes are, and I'm only picking out mistakes right now because if you're doing good, you're doing good. All right? But if you're having mistakes, write them in a notebook. Write the same ones down every day when you mess up the same way. And after a while, you're going to go, okay, I exit out too soon. Okay, I don't secure enough profit. Okay, I pay too much and I have FOMO. If you remind yourself that you have these issues, the next time you go to pay $280 for a contract, instead you'll pay $240 because you have FOMO and you'll know you'll get it anyway. All right, have a great weekend, everybody.